My name is Sophia Hall. I'm a graduate of the class of 2005. I currently serve as the Deputy Litigation Director at a civil rights nonprofit in Boston called the Lawyers for Civil Rights. Beechwood gave me a lot of the foundation for going out into the world and being curious. In fact, I was the first person in my family to go to college, and I distinctly recall being in the guidance counselor's office, going through books, because this was not online back then, looking at different colleges, trying to pick where I was going to attend school. And Emory University was, in fact, one of the schools that the guidance counselor promoted to me, and ended up being where I went to college. And so, to be quite honest, just from day one, Beechwood's always been really foundational in terms of moving forward and moving forward very bravely. So when I was at Beechwood, probably one of the things that took up the most of my time was that I was really involved in Model UN. So I was a dorky nerd who really was interested in debate, other countries, international affairs, and to be quite honest, they were just issues that were outside of my day-to-day life. And I think that experience, traveling with that group, doing competitions, putting yourself in the shoes of others from other countries and other experiences, was really something that allowed me to kind of get out of my own bubble and my own space. If I went back to high school and did it all again, I think that I would have tried to work a little bit harder on my campaign to run for president of student council, because I lost to my good friend Billy Goldberg by a very short number of votes. But I also think that I would have not put as much pressure on myself to expect that the next step was forever. Because when you are that age and you're in school, you really believe that you're planning for forever. And the reality is you're just planning for the very next stage. When you think about leaving Beechwood, I think the first thing you really have to think about is that life is really long, and that you don't have to have it all figured out, but you do have to be really open to the possibility of having to pivot, because life can throw a lot of different things at you. And being open to possibility, being open to opportunity, is the thing that will allow you to find your place in the world and find the things that make you passionate. I just want to say thank you. It's really an honor to be back in Beechwood. It's been so many years since I was here as a student, and for a person who is a racial justice advocate, I think it's pretty unique to have had a childhood like mine, where I grew up in a small Jewish suburb, and difference in racism and discrimination were never a component of that. I was a very privileged child with a very privileged childhood that allowed for a very passionate future as an adult, and Beechwood gave that to me.